Does this episode come out before or after Christmas, said the professional YouTuber. Oh, visual glitches, distractions, what an amazing beginning to this episode. Hi, I'm recording these before Christmas, which is why I got my Christmas hat on. Guess what, we're opening a chance cube. I'm falling into the void. But I can fly, and now I'm back up here again. I was about to panic, jeez. Okay, right, that's our beginning chance cube open. Let's jump into the base. In the last episode, we made an Enderman farm. This thing has been working like a charm, producing us with tons and tons of ender pearls. We've got over 2,000 of those now, which is absolutely amazing. And in the base here, you may notice that there is a new block in the build palette. It is this blaze lamp from Botania. You can craft this stuff with blaze powder, and I think I might have overused it a little bit. I think over here it doesn't look as fitting. Imagine seeing it every one of those beams going all the way around. I don't think it would work, but in this back area here it looks absolutely amazing, and this is where I first used it. I didn't like having torches on the ground. We've still got one over there, but putting a little blaze lamp on either side here looked really good, and you can see that we are expanding our storage with loads of drawers over here and on this side as well, and we have installed a cobblestone generator tier 5 that is producing tons and tons of cobblestone. If you want to know how to do this to automatically compact them, around the back what I've gone and installed is some conduits. So this one is on extract only. For this tier you only need 3 speed upgrades. Any more than that doesn't make a difference to the speed of it. And then over here they're just on insert and extract without any filters, anything like that, and the same will go for the final one, which we're going to put over here, but I've got to wait a while. Now the reason we don't need any filters is because we've locked these. So once you got this type of block right here, which is the double compressed, you can then put it into the next drawer, and then you can lock that one, and then the only item that can move from there to there is that one. And we'll do the same thing again once we get this one right here. We put it in the next drawer, and then we're doing our compacting cobblestone project, which is pretty much like the loot bag setup right here, and we've got 105 of those. Let's open a legendary, man. A gold ingot, a black lotus, not so great. I think we've got a few artifact bags as well, and I think the artifact bags were the ones that were a little bit bogus, right? In fact, these loot bags are not very good at all. Let's have a look into the system. Let's type in loot for loot bags, and there you go, artifact bag. These are rubbish, right? You get the blue loot bag, is it? Yeah, 2 of those. Oh, I remember this. Right, and all of that junk has now got a place to go to, but this right here, this is actually a sign that we need to upgrade this storage system, something we'll do later on. We've got a project in mind that I want to jump straight into after I show you a couple of things. Aha, look. So there's already a drawer for it, but it's got no upgrades on it, and we don't want it to do that because this stuff could eventually end up filling lots and lots of drawers. So we want to keep on top of that, and we're going to do a whole bunch of drawer reorganizing as well. But before we get to any of that, I want to grab some conduits and show you something. So I had a fascinating suggestion in the comments from someone saying about how these power cables looked a little bit wimpy on their own, and I'm always interested in aesthetics and making things look interesting, and they pointed out how I could actually add a lot more to these conduits, right, even though we're not going to technically use these. That already looks a little bit more interesting. Now that is the ME conduit and an energy conduit coming down here. We could also install a redstone conduit, and bear in mind that these aren't actually doing anything, but will they look interesting, I think is the question here. I believe there are 5 different types in total, so now we're adding an item conduit like this, and I don't know if we're going to go overboard at some point. That is already looking really cool. And the other one is a fluid conduit, so let's add all the different types in here. Oh wow, they actually look excellent together. The one that's kind of a little bit odd is the ME one, because it's sort of off to the side here where the others are in a grid, so I might remove those. But now if we take a step back, that looks a heck of a lot more interesting, doesn't it? I'm having a little bit of a brainwave right here. I have not configured that correctly. It's supposed to be push-pull. So I've just put a new ender tank in there, and the one that we picked up is full of lava, and I wasn't supposed to throw it on the ground. What we're actually going to do is try and put some liquid into that fluid conduit. It just occurred to me that that might be kind of interesting. So if we set that one to, yeah, auto extract, active without a signal. Now there is another tank down the bottom there. Ah, and now it's filled up with lava, and that looks seriously cool. So the tank of lava at the bottom is filled. That means that some of it is now permanently in the conduit, and then this thing should be just a little bit underfilled, yeah. And it's just going to stay like that now. Now, I picked lava because there was loads of it on hand, but there are other, you know, liquids that could look very interesting here, like some of this molten enderium, but I've turned this farm off for now. But it's something to consider. We can make our base look very interesting when we think about using functional things for aesthetics. Wouldn't you agree? So crafting that cobblestone generator, it used up most of my blaze rods. So I kind of crafted it without thinking it, and now we've only got 7 left. This guy's going to attack me, man. What a meanie! These blazes can spot you from way too far away, right? And although I can fly, I should be careful. It's not like I'm completely resilient to lava. So if we break this spawner here, yep, loads of them spawn. We saw that last time. I'm just going to fly away, though, because that's all I need. I just need one broken blaze spawner. Awesome. We're going to create another powered spawner like we did last time. And this time, though, we're going to be making ourselves a blaze farm. Life has been made easy now thanks to our ender pearls, so I need some of these crystals to craft the powered spawner. Just loving the amount of materials we've got over here, and I also love this little setup as well. I've actually changed these things to do push-pull now, so they'll push them in and then they'll take out the finished thing as well, right? So we should see an energetic alloy come back into here in a second. Although it might take a moment. Yeah, there it goes. Awesome. Right, I'm going to configure another one over here so we can smelt up all of this as well. I'm not the biggest fan of the glass that we used over there, so I thought I would use some quite clear glass. And yes, look at this. Alright, so I chuck in sand into here, and because this is push-pull, it turns it into glass, and then it takes the glass from here again and then turns it into quite clear glass. That is extremely convenient. I really like these item buffers. I'm very glad that we chose to use them. So yes, this area over here is going to be identical to the one on that corner. I've deliberately put them in opposite corners, and you can see where we had the Enderium blocks over there, I've got the blaze lamps over on this side, and I think they're going to look really cool. But this stuff I think is going to look a lot nicer, because the dark glass kind of looks like it's not there. It doesn't have a border. It makes the area look dim. It's not particularly great. Anyway, in order to move the blazes around that are going to be in our farm, we could use water, which will damage the blazes, which is kind of good. We could also try out slime channels. I have no idea if these things are going to damage them or not, but I was looking at the different types and I was thinking, blood, that's going to be kind of tedious. Loads of you commented that you can use rotted flesh in a smeltery to get that type as well. That's absolutely true. I just thought doing it with blood would be the most fun way. But then I was thinking about, you know, where can we get the magma stuff from in the nether? And guess what I found over here? Like a triple island setup. I've never seen 2 of them close together like this before. And now there's 3 of them. So that's a crazy amount. So I'm going to pick up some slime blocks here and then we can use them to create channels. So I've just finished crafting us a mob masher and setting up the slime channels as well. I like the colour because it matches the blazes, and we're going to remove that block, put a redstone block so this is on around the clock. Not going to be able to turn it on and off. I don't think it really creates any like performance problems. Hi, there you go. So that's the mob masher. Now the thing here is that it's only one for potentially a lot of blazes, so what we might end up doing is perhaps making this 2 or 3 wide on the diagonal. But then the blazes might fall into that corner, so there might be slime channels pushing this way as well. It could end up looking pretty strange is what I'm saying. Anyway, I've also crafted our sharpness upgrade, so we kill them a little bit quicker, and then looting, so we get more drops from it as well. Now, the blazes might also take damage in the slime channels. I'm hoping that they do, because they just get killed over here a little bit quicker, and killing them quickly is probably a good idea. So anyway, I now need to install the spawner itself. We'll also put a vacuum hopper over here in the corner with an ender chest to send the items to our storage system, all of that stuff, and then the farm should be good to go. Before we do that, I'm just checking up on our cobblestone generator. We can now take one of those, put it in over here, and then go and install the other conduit. So again, the only place it will be able to go to is this spot right here. Now this one we actually just need to set to insert only, I think. Yes, because we're not going to extract anything from here. Right, so all of those blocks should get moved over there, but they haven't done yet. I'm going to guess I didn't do the extract properly on the middle one, right? No, it is. It shouldn't need a filter or anything. Well, that is most peculiar. I shouldn't need to change the channel, but once I did, it worked. So I gave this thing the brown channel instead, so it only looked to insert there. I mean, I guess maybe it was like locked onto inserting somewhere else it couldn't, and it wasn't looking over here, but that shouldn't have been an issue. And anyway, changing the channel color has fixed it. Ah, look, there's a lot of them here. Right, you do need different channels. I know what it was doing now. It was extracting this type on the same channel and putting it back over here, and it was probably sending them back and forth over and over again. Right, okay, that makes a ton of sense. We shouldn't have such a large amount of cobblestone right there. Yes, right, okay, that makes complete sense to me now. So you do need to use different channels. I think that this is how I should do it in the Enderman farm. Put the absorption hopper out of sight, because now the area is going to look a lot cleaner in there. This thing is pretty much ready to go. It has a big flaw though, which is that the blazes are probably going to see me, right? So we just need to get power to it. I also want to add that. We need to remove those blocks, and bam, bada bing, bada boom. We are pretty much there. I probably want to move these conduits around a little bit as well. It's a shame that doesn't quite line up with the center of this, but anyway, I need to get out of here now because I don't want those blazes to see me, and they might be able to see me by sort of like looking over the gap, if that makes sense. I'm really not sure, but we will, I'm pretty sure, have to change this setup at some point. So now I'm just waiting on the blazes to spawn. I don't want to go in there. These ones might be slower than Enderman though. Aha, they ain't that much slower. There we go. Get wrecked, my friends. Get absolutely wrecked. Get wrecked very quickly. I am glad at the speed that those were destroyed. There'll be another batch coming through soon, and I was supposed to be paying attention, wasn't I? I was supposed to be paying attention to see if they took damage in the slime channels. But anyway, that thing killed them fast enough, so I don't think it matters. And here they come. And they are taking damage in the slime channel. Excellent. So that's probably going to help. And with only one killing mechanism, it might be that one of them behind takes a lot of damage and dies, but there's only going to be 4 or 5 at a time, right? So I think this thing is absolutely fine. Yeah, it looks like there's no problems with this farm. Awesome. Okay, I'm really happy with how that's turned out. That was super simple and very effective. So here's a very happy coincidence. This thing is also dropping XP and our absorption hopper is picking it up. This is something I was thinking about in the back of my mind that I'm going to have to take care of at some point. And by clicking on it with the tank, I've actually used it like a bucket and extracted the XP that was in there. Unfortunately, with the absorption hopper, you can't put it straight into a tank like this. So what we're going to have to do is set that to push, I believe. And it's going to push... Yes, it's going to push all of it into there, right, and that's going to be our XP channel. We put a diamond on this thing, it's got triple white are the colours, and then over here we're going to attach that, and this is probably going to end up looking a little bit ugly. I could use the tank, or maybe actually what I should use is a conduit instead. Let's grab one of these super duper ender ones and just put it between. And it might look a little bit funky. No, it's not going to attach. Oh, I'm not sure if actually that's going to look much better than a tank. Let's see what the difference is. So if we put a tank here, maybe there's a way I can make this a little bit sleeky, you know, a little bit more hidden, because it's kind of bulky looking now. But anyway, we can pull from there, and then we can push into this thing, and this is going to store loads of XP. And let's store our levels as well. We now have quite a large amount of this stored in total. That is pretty fantastic, and it looks like it's pumping in loads more experience as the blazes over there die. Alright, fantastic. I was not expecting that, but it's also doubled up as an XP farm. Great stuff. Alrighty then, I've hooked up a redstone conduit to this, and when we hit that, it's going to turn on. That is fantastic. Let's patch in the hole in our ceiling, and you can see what I've done is just lined up the ceiling there with more of those purpley blocks, and the glass goes all the way to the top, and then the blaze get wrecked, we get XP, we get blaze rods, and I've gone and matched it over on this side as well as removing the ender chest and the absorption hopper, which are now hidden underneath. So that is almost it for this episode of Hermit Skies. If you have enjoyed this one, then leave a like. As always, thank you for your support. And I want to end this episode with a challenge. Now, it is the holiday season. I'm not sure when I'm going to see the feedback from this episode, but I'm hoping to find a solution that we can implement into this world. Now, what I want to do is something I've tried to do many times before and unfortunately failed, which is to automate the creation of Enderium out of this smeltery. Now, when the Endermen fall down into this smeltery, there needs to be a liquid in here at all times in order for them to take damage and create the resonant ender. Now, the problem with that is that there are lots of different types of liquids in here, and that we can only swap them around here by us, the player, clicking on them. So that means we can't automate that part. And so it becomes very tricky to make sure that there's always a liquid in there. For example, if you want to keep something in there, you might automatically extract gold and then turn it into an ingot and then automatically put the ingot back into the system. That itself can run into some problems as well. And like I said, every time I've tried this, I've not had much luck. So if you've got any ideas, you can tweet me some pictures of your setup, or you can leave a comment down below describing it, and we will take a few ideas and see if we can implement it and then automate the creation of Enderium. That is what I'd like to do. But anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing your ideas. Leave a comment down below, or like I said, tweet me as well. You can find a link to my Twitter in the description box. But that is it from me this episode. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.